Single parents. If you're raising children on one income and it often feels like there's never anything left at the end of the month, this video is for you. Because today we're not talking about benefits. We're not talking about increasing income. We're talking about something that can feel almost impossible when money feels tight. Building a small financial buffer. Not thousands of pounds, not perfection, just a small safety cushion over time. Enough to make life feel a little less fragile. In the first video, we stabilised, making sure you weren't missing benefits or support that already exists in the UK system. In the second video, we maximised, helping the money already coming into your household go a little bit further. But there's one more direction on the single parent compass, and that's security. When people hear the phrase emergency fund, it can sound unrealistic. You'll often hear advice saying you should save 3 months of income or 6. But if you're already doing that quiet mental maths of how to stretch things to the end of the month, that kind of advice can feel really discouraging. So today we're going to talk about this in a much more realistic way. Not perfect finances, just less panic when life does what life does. So why does a buffer matter? One of the hardest parts of single parenting financially is the feeling that one unexpected bill can knock everything sideways. The car needs repairs, the washing machine suddenly stops working, or school sends home a letter about a trip you didn't know about yesterday. None of those things are disasters. But when money is tight, they can feel like they are. And that's where a small buffer can make a big difference. Not because it fixes everything, but because it gives you space to breathe. Instead of aiming for huge savings straight away, it helps to think about 3 layers of financial security. The first goal is simple, just £100, not £1,000, not months of expenses, just enough so that if something small happens, like a tyre goes, a repair, a school costs, it doesn't immediately throw the whole month off balance. That first £100 is often the hardest to build, but once it's there, something interesting happens. Life starts to feel a little less fragile. The second stage is what I call the Life Happens Fund. Maybe £300, maybe £500. There's no rush. The point isn't the exact number. The point is knowing that when life throws something unexpected your way, which it often does, it doesn't automatically throw off your whole month into chaos. That's usually the stage where people start to feel their shoulders drop slightly. The longer term goal is what I call breathing room. This is when you eventually have enough saved that surprises feel manageable rather than overwhelming. And that might take time, years even, and that's completely okay. Because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is less panic when life does what life does. Where the money can come from. Now you might be thinking, that sounds lovely, but where exactly is this money going to come from? Often it comes from the same small systems we talked about in the previous videos. Things like cashback payments coming through, selling items around the house, small bits left at the end of the month, loyalty points or vouchers, birthday money that wasn't spent, occasional months when things maybe aren't quite as tight. None of these things are going to build a huge emergency fund overnight. One practical thing that helps many people is setting up a tiny standing order into a savings pot, even £5 or £10 a month. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but £10 a month becomes £120 a year, which already takes you past that first £100 buffer. Another way to think about it is £5 to £10 is 1 or 2 Costa coffees a month. And I say that with zero judgment because I love Costa as much as the next person. But sometimes redirecting a small amount automatically each month means the savings grow without you even thinking about it. And often that's the real secret. Systems, not willpower. Another helpful step is simply having a separate place for the money to sit, even if there's only £5 in it to start with. Most banking apps now let you create small savings pots. Some people even name them things like car repairs or life happens, because sometimes the hardest part of saving isn't the amount, It's simply having somewhere for the money to live so it doesn't disappear into our everyday spending. One thing that helped me when I started trying to build a small financial buffer was simply getting clear on where my money was actually going. Because when everything feels chaotic financially, it's really hard to plan where you're heading. So I've created a simple single parent compass budget planner. It's just a one-page tool that helps you see what's coming in, what's going out, and where a little breathing room might exist. Because when you know where you are, it becomes much easier to navigate where you're heading. If that planner would help you, I've put a link below this video where you can download it. Another thing many families don't realise is that there are grants available that don't need to be repaid. Websites like Turn to Us have grant search tools. There's also the Family Fund, which supports families that are raising disabled children. And some energy suppliers offer energy trust grants to people that are struggling with energy bills. Now, these aren't always widely advertised, but they can make a real difference if you qualify. Something that many single parents carry is debt. If things have built up and it feels overwhelming, there is free help available in the UK. Organisations like Step Change, Christians Against Poverty, Citizens Advice, National Debtline, they all offer free and confidential debt advice. They can help you understand your options, create payment plans, and sometimes even negotiate with your creditors. You should never have to pay someone for basic debt advice. Asking for help with debt isn't failure, it's taking control. There are also organisations specifically supporting single parents. One of the most helpful in the UK is Gingerbread, which offers advice on benefits, child maintenance, work and childcare, and many other things. So if we step back and look at the whole picture, this is the compass we've been following. First, we stabilise, making sure that support is reaching your household. Then we maximise, helping the money you already have go further. And finally, we secure, building small layers of breathing room over time. Stabilising the basics, maximising what you have, and securing your future. They're three simple directions that can slowly change how money feels in your home. Before we finish, I'd love to know what's one small system that's helped you stretch your money further as a single parent. Often the best ideas come from other parents walking the same road, so feel free to share yours in the comments. If these videos have been helpful, you're always welcome to subscribe. I make them so single parents don't have to figure out everything on their own. Take what's helpful, leave the rest, and wherever you're at today, go easy on yourself.